I was 3 years old when I sat down at the piano. My uncle was sitting at the piano and I was walking by. He was playing a song. He was teasing me, "Can you play this?" I sat down and played everything note for note. Everybody fainted at 3 years old. So that's how I started. Any company like Impulse that presents this art form the way it should present it deserves to be lauded and respected and applauded.
To me, Impulse was the label that had the guts to put out these amazing, exploratory, innovative, it's where jazz was going, and Impulse was completely unafraid, it seems to me, from the catalog.
They really allowed the musicians to be free. They allowed Coltrane to open up. When most labels would kind of be a little hesitant to allow those dudes to just express themselves in that way. And so there was a lot of really important, good music that transpired with that freedom that they provided.
I think about Impulse as a place where people were free to be who they were in the most intense way that they chose to. As far as their insight would take them, they expressed it, you know, and social justice issues were definitely a part of it. Like, you know, Charlie Hayden's Liberation Music Orchestra, like, I think it's that record he's touching on the Cuban Revolution and stuff, right? And thinking about that, and, you know, and spiritual things, you know. I mean, A Love Supreme, you know, is a prayer. That record is a prayer. Social justice issues, spiritual issues, identity. Like, it's a place where people were able to, you know, find their identity, declare their identity, and make other people feel less alone in the world.
You know, the way to lose a lot of money is to put out jazz records. The way to be broke for your entire life is to be a jazz player. Good or not, you still stand a great chance of starving. Impulse could have been broke doing what they did. And so what made it work? In my opinion, my rudimentary knowledge, a combination of things. Intense belief in these artists. Beautiful layout, beautiful cover design.
The way I first became aware that Impulse was a label was the packaging. That black, orange, and white packaging.
I don't know if it was like the type of paper they used, or it's just the colors, those orange and black and white colors, or what it is, but it just looks and feels so good. Like, you hold them in your hand, a lot of them have gatefold opening up sleeves, and they're just like beautiful things. You know, what an immersive experience it was to just hold that thing, and there's great liner notes and beautiful photography, and you really feel like you're taking part in a part of history. You're not just like listening to something, you're being invited in to be part of something. No matter what the world's doing, I can go and take out a record and take out pretty much any Impulse record and just listen to it and feel like it's gonna be okay.
I buy a record on Impulse because of the spine. If it's on Impulse, well, I'm now curious because they don't seem to put out bad stuff. That Sam Rivers live record, jeez.
I think that the importance of Impulse Records as a record label to jazz history and just music in general is the exploration behind its curation. And I've got my favorite, you know, like Pharoah Sanders and Coltrane and Alice Coltrane records. But I decided I want to really check out their catalog and see what are the records that I don't know. And I realized that actually this label is really prolific in terms of the scope of all the different types of music that they've got on there. You know, I really get the sense when I speak to them that they're really involved in music, like they've got good music taste and they really appreciate it. So I feel like, you know, for a label to actually have that aesthetic for that long and, you know, kind of keep on investing in music and actually promoting music that is just really artistically vital. I think that's kind of phenomenal, really.
Impulse is a study in love of music over the pocketbook, and that's the mark of a label. Like, we're gonna sell enough to break even, but this is a great record and it has to come out. Because music heals people, it stops wars, it makes things better. And that's what, in just my opinion as a fan, that's what Impulse tried to do and also achieved.
This is what started the recording industry, the whole industry on American classical music, whether it's George Gershwin or Duke Ellington or Billy Strayhorn or myself, John Coltrane, Pharoah Sanders, and on and on and on. And this is what Impulse did. They made an indelible mark on the industry because what they did, they presented this wonderful art form on the highest level. That's what they did. The very highest level